What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bradley's Garage. Today we're here finally picking up this 1997 Mercedes E320. It's been sitting at this business for like 4 or 5 years. We've been bugging the owner forever. Finally, he's agreed to sell it to us, so let's take a look. It was covered at one point, but as you can tell, it's not covered any longer. So pretty clean inside, not bad, black on black, pretty cool. And of course, these wheels, these are some old school BBS RS 702s. So those are kind of something you don't see every day. So that's pretty clean. Let's take a look under the hood and see what we got going on here. There we go. All right, that's inline 6. This motor is like one of the most bulletproof Mercedes motors that they ever created. So hey, let's get it loaded up, get it on the trailer, and see what it's going to take to get this bad boy back on the road. All right, guys, we got it on the trailer. It is baking hot in SoCal today, so I'm sweating like crazy, but it's on the trailer. Let's get it back to the house and start tearing into it and see what we got to do to get it back on the road. All right, so we got the car back to the house. We got it up in the air. We're gonna access the fuel pump. We gotta figure that it's bad, but we're gonna pull it off anyway so we can drain out whatever fuel can come out of the tank. Let's get this bad stuff out. And that way we can bench test that fuel pump, and that'll be the start. Kind of, if we don't have fuel, then this car is never gonna start. So we gotta start with the gas and then move our way forward. All right, so I got everything unhooked. As you can see, I got the wires off and I got this clamp loose. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this out of the way here. And we got a bucket to catch because we know there's some gas. The fuel gauge was technically saying empty, but we're gonna keep something under it just to make sure. Okay, yeah, we got some gas. Not bad. We'll let that drain. And let's bench test this fuel pump and see if it's got anything. All right, so I mean, I looked inside. It definitely looks a little corroded, so I don't think we're gonna have anything. Yeah, it's arcing, so yeah, it's locked up. So the small prong is positive, the larger one is negative. As you can see, it's labeled there, positive, negative. So this pump is dead. So we gotta order up a new one. It looks like the original Mercedes Pierberg. So let's get a new one and throw it in, get a new fuel filter as well. And then we'll continue draining this tank and keep dumping that into some 5-gallon fuel jugs until the tank is empty. So it doesn't smell that bad. It's about 7-8-year-old gas, so yeah, it's pretty decent. But we'll continue draining it and get back at it. We went ahead and we flushed out the gas tank. We got like a half a gallon. We basically just put it in, let it flush through since we had everything unhooked. So we got all kind of the old gas out, no more contaminants that we see. So we're gonna go ahead and throw in the new fuel filter and the new fuel pump. And this is the Pierberg. So this is basically OEM stuff. So let's get that installed, and then we'll make sure that we got to put a couple gallons in the tank via the gas can, and then we'll make sure that we have pressure at the fuel rail. Okay, so we just took off the incoming fuel line and just turned the key a little bit. Actually, I thought it would run just with the key on, but it doesn't really cycle much. So I cranked it a little bit until we got gas coming out of here. So we know the whole system is primed. So we're gonna give it a go and see if it starts. I mean, I don't know. There's no reason why it shouldn't if we got fuel. So let's put the intake back in. Okay, we don't have to tighten everything. We're just gonna see if it'll fire up. Going on, what, 9 years since this thing started up. So let's see what happens. All right, just thinking. All right, listen to that baby. Not bad. She runs after 9 years. Well, that was the most important thing. So we need to, get coolant and stuff in it. So we did a thermostat. We're gonna have to get some coolant in there. We got a new belt for it. we got plugs, we got oil. So most important thing is we want to see it fire, want to see it run. Don't want to put any more new parts on it until we know that it fires up. So I'm sure it's got misfire, as it's got some, vacuum leaks. All these hoses are rotten. So we're going to clean up a few more things and oil change, spark plugs, get some coolant in there, get it fresh, get this engine all cleaned up, some vacuum lines, and I think we might be able to take it for a spin around the block. All right, guys, as you can see, we pulled out the plugs, just comparing them. You could see that there is a little bit more gap on the older ones. It's not like crazy amount, but it's definitely something's worn out. So like I said, the most important thing is let's just start fresh with everything. That way we know from this point forward, all of our plugs are good, all of our fluids are good, all of our coolant's good, thermostat's good, belts are good, and then we don't have anything to worry about. Topping it off with some fresh coolant. All right, guys, so let's get it cranked up, let it warm up a little bit, and then we got to cruise it down the street, man. It's just too tempting. All right, let's let it warm up, take it for a spin.
Film filling up the radiator, right?
All right, well, we don't have a lot of gas, so we're just gonna do a little trip up the street, mainly just to verify the transmission works and there's no issues there. Got nice rusty rotors, of course, but temps looks good. Like I said, we're out of gas, but the light's not on, so that's interesting. We put in, what, about 2 gallons, so it's probably close. But we noticed we were trying to turn the fan on, turn the heater on, but we got nothing, so we got no blower motor. So either the fuse, we got a bad fuse or relay, or the blower motor itself is actually bad. So I'll have to check into that. And then we noticed that our window regulator on the passenger side is messed up. Our window is all cockeyed, so it's gonna need a few little things, but I mean, you can't beat it. This thing is actually cruising down the road pretty nicely. The brakes work. That's a good thing.
It's starting to go a little above mid.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up a little bit. Well, it had to open, the thermostat had to open the very first time. Had to get up to that point where it's like gets a little hot, thermostat opens. I mean, we put a new thermostat in, so we shouldn't have any issues there. We got all new coolant, we flushed out the system. So yeah, it's dropping back down. I think we're looking good. All right, let's take it back. We got, 10 plus year old tires. We got lots of old parts, so. So after our quick drive, good news is we don't have anything dripping. The car's been idling for about 15 minutes and then we went for that short trip. So that's a good sign. So we'll look everything over after we get everything cleaned up and make sure everything looks good. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. We're on our first part of our little Mercedes E320 video here. We got it running, we got it driving. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and do a complete interior, exterior detail, get some new tires on it. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.